G'day legends, Blake here with another video, and I'm really excited today. I've got Chris from AllFish2U. We're going to do a store tour today. There's heaps of really cool rare stuff, so thanks for having me, Chris. Appreciate you inviting me to the shop. Maybe to get started, can you let us know a bit about yourself, how you got into the hobby, and how we ended up here?
My dad bought me a tank when I was 13. And then it kind of snowboarded into 10 years later owning a fish shop. Yeah, so I've only been in the hobby for 10 years now. I'm only 23 myself. Me and my dad bought this shop when I was 22, like last year, 18 months ago. And yeah, that's pretty much where it started from. And yeah, kind of got to this point. I worked at the shop for 5 years previously. So I worked here for 3 years when I was younger. I was a plumber by trade. I lost my job at the start of COVID and started working back here for the previous owners. And then 2 years after that, the boys wanted to sell the shop and I nagged Dad and we eventually got to this point.
Awesome, Chris. So one thing that's really impressive about your shop and the website is the amount of unique and rare things that you have. So if you can take us around and show us some of the things that maybe your average punter wouldn't notice.
These guys over here would have to be one of my favorites. The CW28s, also known as the Super Swartzy Corydoras.
Yeah.
They're huge, which is one of my favorite things about some of these like big cories. And these guys here, also being the CW28, get a really tall dorsal fin on them, which they haven't quite developed.
Yeah, I can imagine like a massive school of those. They'd have real impact.
Yeah, I kept 8 and put them in the big planter tank.
Yeah, awesome.
So I may point out lots of cories that are cool because I like them.
Yeah.
These are a new one that came in. They're the Corydoras C121, lineage 9.
Yeah.
First time I've ever seen them in person. I think they're very similar like Duplicaris or Adolphia.
Yeah.
But got those little orange kind of blushy cheeks sort of thing on their gill plates. And we've got also a high dorsal, which I'm a sucker for.
Yeah, they look great. The contrast is just fantastic. Red laser here out the front.
Yeah, they're cool. They're only caught in the Rio Tapajo, which are very, very rare fish. And I'm sad that I didn't get to keep any.
That was lucky. We were trying to get them out the front for ages before. Black Vans. Gold lasers as well?
Yeah, gold lasers. They're actually wild caught gold lasers.
Yeah, they look awesome. Yeah. Really nice yellows.
A Corydoras called CW127, the Super Parallelis. It's a fish I've been looking for many, many years. An importer got in a group of 15, which I was hoping to get, but unfortunately I didn't go too well in quarantine. About a month after that point, they got in another group of about 50. I grabbed a group of 30 and have sold majority of them. But I kept a group of 6 for myself because it is a fish I've been looking for a very long time. I'm pretty certain they're a part of the lineage 8 group of Corydoras. Yeah, but they're a really, really cool Corydoras.
Yeah, definitely look unique. I love them. So as a hobbyist, you still have 45 tanks at home?
Yeah,
led to believe.
Mainly Central American cichlids.
Yeah,
so that's what my main thing is. A lot of people in the hobby may know me for the Central American cichlids.
Yeah.
I've bred every Central American we have available in the country but 3.
Oh, wow.
It's the red snook, the Quetzalcoatlus, and the new one, the Tomocicla tuba. They're the only 3 species I haven't spawned. Oh, and PSCI 4, sorry. Other than that, I've spawned every other species we have, from the little ones to the big ones, Dovi, spawned them. Anything down to like Septum fasciata, Sahica, convicts, blue eyes.
Wow.
And other things like the Cribiheros, Longimanus, and the Cribiheros Robinsoni are the other 2 species I was quite proud of spawning. Especially the Robinsoni, that was a very difficult one.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are the running river rainbowfish. So these were virtually extinct in the wild, and I'm pretty certain it was a Canberra university brought them back with the help of like the fish club Angfo, who we sponsor.
Yeah.
And do a really good job keeping these fish in our hobby and also in our waterways. Yeah, it's a fish I really like, but yeah, it's another silver rainbowfish. That was the sad thing. There
is a great story to that. I'll link it in the description below, but have a read after this, and it's worth finding out about.
These are the Sex lineata rainbowfish. If that male comes to the front, there he is.
Yeah.
You can see his little pink lips. Really cool little fish. So Sex lineata means 6 stripes, and you can see the 6 lineal stripes down the side of their body. Once you understand like little words in the Latin language, like maculata means spot, and lineata means stripe, and fasciata means stripe.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to figure out what the names of these fish are.
For sure.
Another cool fish you never really see, Borneo suckers, but an array of different species is in that tank.
Oh, holy smokes. I didn't even realize like half of this gravel is fish.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about this display tank if we can. We'll just sort of talk off camera about it. That it's got some of your favorite oddballs and interesting critters in here.
Yes.
So you can run through maybe what some of these
So
are.
there's 2 colonies of plecos in there. There's a colony of L600s, there's 8 of them. And there's also a colony of L137s, the blue eye redfin panac.
Yeah.
It's really cool actually here. There's 2 clownfishes fighting for dominance. They fade out, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
There's also an Angolian long nose or double trunk elephant nose.
Where is he? There he is.
There he is. He's actually out and about for once.
I noticed the eel as well. I was like,
Eels are
oh,
really
I'll quickly grab the eel while he's out.
I had to keep them.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a really cool fish, but they're really hard to see. I'll get the light forward. Where's the light? That look like giant denios, but are not giant denios. They're a fish called a labuka. They're very similar. They're kind of in between a denio and a rasbora.
Okay.
I've only ever seen 7 in person, and all 7 are in this tank. I got them in a batch of wild caught Bengal denios, and those 7 were just in the group. And I actually had to get someone from Sri Lanka to ID them.
Wow.
And it's an undescribed species of labuka. It's not really cool to most people, it's just a silver fish.
Yeah.
But it's really cool to me because no one else has it.
100%. 100%. Well, you're teaching me new words today, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're a cool fish. And then I've got like 32 oddball and weird clown loaches, and some are quite large.
Yeah, I noticed some have like spots on them. Like that guy there has like one side has a spot. And yeah, you can sit here for hours and just check out all the different markings and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and these guys here are called temperini barbs. They're very similar to a Azulis barb, very similar where they don't really sell too well, but they get like 20 centimeters long and are quite rare in Australia compared to the Azulis, which have become quite common in the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And there's also some, these little ones are mascara barbs, which are very similar to black spots, but when they mature up, they're way better than black spots.
I've got some of those in my 8-foot. And when they get that blue to them, they look really awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to get the red beading across the belly of the fish.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great display that you've put together. It looks really awesome. We're talking about maintenance as well, because it's like way up high, so we have to climb up on the desk to get it. But
it's a pain in the neck.
You know, good things take a little bit of work sometimes. You want to talk about the race?
Oh yeah, our race. Stella, our big pet female, which she might come over, she might not come over. She actually gave birth exactly a week ago to 4 little healthy pups. So she's a Montoro, and she bred with my male, who's a super spot Montoro, who's not in here because he's a bit too frisky with the girls. But it'd be nice if they turned around. But I feed them on that side, so they're always on that side. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
And well, the pups are in the basket. I'll put the footage over the top. I got some before, so.
These would have to be one of my favorite cichlids of all time, down the bottom there. I say Vieja Argenta. Some people say Mascahiros. I still call them Viejas.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to spawn this species twice. If anyone knows much about this species, it's extremely difficult to spawn. My male was 5.5 years of age before him and his girlfriend laid eggs, which he ate very quickly. And then I got my next spawn 12 months after that initial spawn, which I managed to get about 15 viable fry. And then about a week later, he spawned again, and I got about 200 fry out of him. Awesome. That was one of the fish that I really wanted to spawn, and I've managed to spawn it twice, which I was very happy about. So these guys here, the Chilumbo Red Travasi, they're a Mabuna from Lake Malawi. Got crazy cool color on them. I love the white fins.
Yeah.
Their favorite thing though, my favorite thing about them is that stupid nose they have. They also call them the scraper mouth cichlid. So they use that, they're from the shallows of Lake Malawi across the coast.
Yeah.
And they use that mouth to scrape algae off rocks. They're also hyper aggressive to each other, which is annoying because they just seem to bash each other a lot and I've got to separate them all the time. But really cool fish to look at. Very common, or used to be very common, now a bit rarer. The Johannes barb, or striped barb, I should have just said, but easier to say.
Yeah.
Really cool fish, but also not very popular, but really cool. I like stocking it.
And then making the jump across to owning a store, have you found any huge hurdles, or have you had any disaster stories or anything like that?
No, the only disaster I've had was probably when I first bought the shop. I bought a whole heap of Xingu peacock bass, and they knocked the overflow out. And then I came into the shop the next morning, and they're all dry at the bottom of the tank.
Oh no!
That was like a month into owning the shop. That was probably the worst thing I've had. But other than that, that was the only real disaster I had. But everything's been pretty smooth sailing. Being that I worked here for 5 years, I kind of built most of the racks in this shop with the previous owners and plumbed them up and did everything with the previous owner. So I knew how the whole shop worked. And yeah, virtually managed the shipping side of things anyway. So it was quite an easy transition. The worst transition was working 7 days a week for 18 months and I've had like 6 days off this year. So yeah, other than that, it's been pretty easy and smooth sailing.
Yeah.
This is another really cool fish. It's a Madagascan cichlid called the pinstripe damper. Critically endangered in the wild and also very, very difficult to get in the hobby.
Wow.
I bought this species about 4 years ago. They were about $400 a fish. I bought a group of 6 and I had them for about 4 weeks and my heater cooked them.
Oh.
So I was not impressed, but I'm happy to get this species back. Yeah, in the shop at least. These are the red lizard loaches or the red marbled lizard loaches. Really cool little fish.
Definitely.
For many, many years, I thought they were an algae eater. And then I found out that they love blackworms and are actually like purely carnivorous.
Yeah.
Which I was very surprised to find out.
Well, they do have that sort of Pandagara vibe to them, don't they?
That's what I thought. I thought they were just going to be something like that. There's also another fish in there.
Yeah.
You might be able to see in the back there, near the back of that PVC pipe.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is. It looks very similar to a fish called a green lizard loach, but there's 4 different fish that have the same trade name, but I can't figure out which species it actually is.
That's so cool. Even, you know, the amount of random species that you come across, and you come across more random species than most people I know, still things come across still things come into the shop that can't be identified, or you have to sort of go off and figure it out.
And Google's great, but it's only helpful to a certain extent. You've kind of got to find like old books and stuff to find this sort of stuff, and yeah, so it's kind of difficult to ID some of these species with that sort of information.
Yeah,
the lack of information out there.
Well, you never know. People from all over the world watch, so if you see that and you know what the name is, let us know. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you would have heard me talk about AllFish2U, mostly when it comes to selling fish online, and I've ordered a bunch of your fish online. So how do you manage all of that side of things and the stock? And I've always wondered, like with the website, like if somebody comes in and buys a fish, how does that work? Do you accidentally double up sometimes? Or?
Occasionally I do, but I have say if I've got 30 fish in the shop, I put 15 on the website, and then it kind of gives me a bit of time. Sometimes bad things happen and I sell both things at the same time, and I've kind of got to scramble and find some more of them. I haven't ran into any troubles yet so far with that. I've been pretty good with it, but just stocking less online and that I have in the shop is the way that I found it. If I've got 6 of them, just put 4 on the website and just monitor those sort of low number fish. But things like Rominos and stuff, I've always got heaps of them. So it's mainly just the rare Corys and rare pencil fish and stuff that I run out very quickly. Yeah,
okay. Well, that's smart. So if you are wanting to order anything that you see today, we'll also do a follow-up video about shipping. But, you know, me personally, I live in Geelong, which is, you know, an entire state away, and half of my fish rooms come from here. So you can do it and it works, and you could get some great fish at the end of it. So check out the website. I think no matter where you are in Australia, these are cool.
Oh yeah, super red pencil fish. I've had them in the shop for quite a while now. They're growing really nicely and showing some awesome color. There's little to no information on this species. So they're very rarely collected in the wild, which makes them very hard to get in the hobby because they're all widely collected.
Yeah.
But super cool color. Pain in the neck to keep. They're only eating brine shrimp. They're not eating any pellets or anything. So I've got to hatch baby brine every day, which I've been doing for the past like 2.5 months.
Yep.
So not too impressed by that, but they seem to like it.
Yeah. Probably the other species benefit from it as well. Once you're feeding something brine shrimp, everyone
kind of gets a bit. Yeah. They're called Nanostomus equus.
Yeah.
They're a cool little pencil fish from, I think, Brazil, somewhere around that neck of the woods. They all swim on that kind of 45-degree angle and have that cool little black bit on the tail.
Yeah.
But there's an even cooler species in this tank, this one here. It's the Corydoras TO84, the Mega Mate. So this is the first time that they've ever been imported into Australia, and I've got all 15 in the shop at the moment. So you can't find that species anywhere else in Australia. I'm very confident of it.
Yeah, they are awesome.
They apparently, so on a few different websites, one website says they only get 4.5 to 5 centimeters. These fish are already bigger than that. Another website says they get 8 centimeters. I think it's somewhere in the middle between the 7 centimeter mark. Yeah.
That'll be fun to watch and sort of document and
see how big they actually get.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. You can see there's some really, really cool and unique stuff here at AllFish2U. Check it out if you're in Sydney. What suburb is it in?
Kingswood.
I don't know Sydney
West
at all.
Yeah.
But really easy to get to. So thanks heaps for having me. Appreciate your time. And we'll catch you on the next one. If you did like the video, it always helps me out to smash like, hit subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.